Joining us from Philadelphia, where he has just landed, one of our favorites from ESPN, Jeff Carlisle. Jeff, welcome, my friend.
Tony, how are you?
I couldn't be better. Really appreciate you doing this. You're a busy guy. We won't keep you long, Jeff. But here, the city of Toronto has been a buzz for the last 48 hours. Jermaine Defoe gone, Jozy Altidore coming here. You had an opportunity to speak with Tim Bazbatchenko. What did you and him discuss in regards to this deal going down?
Well, just to put it in context, I mean, this was a conversation that I had with him at the Combine on Sunday, and I had heard earlier that day that Jozy Altidore was going to be placed via the allocation ranking, and I was able to get a few minutes, with Tim, and he basically confirmed that. He said, that when I asked him about Altidore, he said, I really can't comment. It's a league signing, but then he did say at which point he's going to go through allocation. So, at this point, there's an awful lot of confusion out there about, how and where Altidore is going to be placed. I'm hearing that Portland is out, that Jozy wants to be on the East Coast, and that there are other teams bidding, trying to basically, kind of ace Toronto out of this deal. So it's a very fluid situation, from what I gather, and we're just going to have to, obviously we'll try to get to the bottom of it, but we're going to have to wait and see, what exactly the league tries to do as it relates to Jozy Altidore.
Jeff, do you think the ace in the hole is Michael Bradley, a teammate with Team USA, a guy that right now is taking the leadership role of this team on and off the field, that is going to sway Jozy Altidore to make his way over here?
Certainly that's a great card for Toronto to be able to play. I mean, the fact that they're international teammates, they go way back, to that great U20 team, that had, Freddie Adu and, Danny Zatella and, Jozy and Michael Bradley were part of that. So, certainly that is a great card for Toronto to be able to play. But obviously, New York's got Jesse Marsh, and, he's got some familiarity working with Jozy as well from his time with the national team. So, we'll see. And obviously, there's the New York pull. I have been hearing that Jozy does want to be in New York, but, what was open to question was just how much he wanted to be in New York, whether it was a deal breaker, just how many, hoops was the league going to be willing to jump through to get Jozy Altidore in New York. So, my sense is still that New York does not have the money to do this, but, certainly in the past, and I'm thinking back to Clint Dempsey, I mean, the MLS has been willing to step in and, pay transfer fees or subsidize salaries. So it's, again, it's a really fluid situation and very confusing for everyone involved just about.
Jeff, a couple hours ago, I was on the line with a colleague of mine, a former executive of Juventus, a former player, a guy who I trust, and we spoke about Giovinco, another name in the mix there with TFC, and he warned me. He said, Anthony, it's far, far from even being anywhere close to being done with TFC. He said to me that Fiorentina is in hot pursuit of him, and now Monaco. So to me, if they don't land Jozy Altidore and no Giovinco, I think this could be a kick in the gut for TFC, and I think the fans, once and for all, will be fed up. What have you heard in regards to the Giovinco situation?
I've not heard much as it relates to Giovinco. Obviously, this is a guy that I saw all the way back in the Olympics in 2008, and obviously he's a fantastic playmaker. I think he'd be an ideal foil for Jozy Altidore, if TFC were to land those two guys. But, one question I do have, amidst all this talk of attacking players, is what is TFC going to do about their defense? Daniil Henry is gone, and I'm sure fans will debate whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But, we haven't heard a lot about defensive reinforcements, as it relates to Toronto in this offseason, and all the talk has been about attacking players. And, as we saw last year, the defense was a huge, huge problem for Toronto FC. So, certainly there's time to try to rectify and fix those issues. And, when you get a chance to land a Jozy Altidore, obviously you've got to jump on it.